Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you are in the world. This is Howie, and I'm here to help you win with money. And very quickly, what are the traditional ways of investing? And there's a couple of them. There's real estate, stock market, maybe own a business. And they generally fall under these different ways. You can rent stuff, flip stuff, buy commercial. Stock market has a lot of different ways to do it. There are different styles. You can be an investor, dividend investor, you can be growth, you can be value, you can be a trader, you can be an options trader. There's a lot of different ways. Business owners are the same thing. You can be a silent partner, you can be an owner, you can be an operator, you can run a one-person business or a thousand-person business. A lot of different ways to think about it. But today I want to talk about this other category, right? Cash, there's fixed interest instruments. Property is a loosely defined word by the IRS, which can include things like collectible cars and artwork and anything else. Shares are very interesting because you can buy shares of private companies that are not traded on the stock market. And anyway, so let's go on to see how this plays into Bitcoin. So here's the slide where I put what are the famous people that are either for or against Bitcoin. As you can see, I put a list here. You can see the names, and I'm going to just say a couple things. Let's go with the against one first. Warren Buffett has says Bitcoin is a rat poison square. He said that in 2018. He also said this: Bitcoin hasn't produced anything. It doesn't do anything. It just sits there. It's like a seashell or something, and that is not an investment to me. Jamie Dimon also said something like, if you're stupid enough to buy Bitcoin, you'll pay the price for it one day. Obviously, his bank may be doing some other stuff. They did create a stable coin. And now, Bill Gates did have a view that was against Bitcoin in the past. But I think in more recent time, he has switched his position. He started to study out blockchain and what it can do. And there are stories saying that recently the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation did partner up with Ripple. They're trying to solve this issue of the unbanked population. Elon Musk, we all know, is the CEO of Tesla. He used to collect Bitcoins for, you can buy a Tesla with a Bitcoin, not anymore. He does pump and dump the whole Dogecoin thing, but he does support it. And so we'll see what happens with that. There's some other famous people here that support Bitcoin, and they're on the cutting edge of that. So why should you consider Bitcoin? So let me try to show you something. If you go to the trusty Yahoo Finance page, what I did was I just punched in Ether, and I want to show you this. The first thing I want to show you is something real simple. I love going to the full screen so you can do some comparisons. And the first thing I want to show you is what is the 3-month comparison. So let's just do this. I'll show you what I do. Let's compare it to the S&P 500. So the benchmark will be in red. And for 3 months, you can see that the last 3 months, the S&P is up about 8%. You go 6 months out, is up 23%. Ether is up 700%. You go 1 year out, this thing is up 1,800%, 46%. Let's go 2 years out, 1,300%, 45%. So what does this mean? The first thing I was going to say is, obviously, you missed a big run up. And will it go to zero? It is quite possible. I'm not a person who believes that everything is either one direction or the other. As an investor, I have to think on both sides of the coin. It can go up, or it can go back to zero and have zero value. This is what an investor does. You can't be unbiased in saying it's going to go to the moon or that thing is useless. Because if so, that puts me in a category of either this side or this side. As an investor, you can actually be on two sides or many sides or have multiple views. So let me explain this. For most people, you view life from one point of view or another. And here is a really simple case. You either for it or against it. And there's a problem with that thinking because one side could be right or one side will be wrong. That's just the most obvious. What I like to teach is something a little bit different. If you have a more advanced thinking, let's say a level 1 or 2 thinking, you can have your personal views, but you can understand each side's argument. Most people cannot go to a debate and have that type of view. Most people are still stuck at this level 101 thinking. And what I like to teach as an investor is you need to be able to move to this 102 thinking, because if you know how to do that, you can now take action based on this view. And that action is what I consider the level 201 thinking. Because whether or not you agree with Bitcoin or not, it really doesn't matter. But if you invested in it early enough, so the reason why that thinking is so important is if you have this ability to have a investing 102 thinking, you can be on both sides. You can be for it and against it. And if you know how to have that view, you can get in and invest in something as risky as Bitcoin. So based on this, I want to let you know, I've been invested in Bitcoin way before 1 year ago. So if you see the run up, that means I already captured some of this benefit. I got in more than 2 years ago. And because I cannot predict the future, whatever happens 10, 20, or 30 years from now will define where these people will place in history. Warren Buffett may be the best value investor of all time, but he may not be the best investor of all time. Those who invested in Bitcoin may be able to surpass him. The first trillionaire, let's say, may come from a digital asset. And that will change the way the world view things. Not to take away from Warren Buffett or anybody else, but it may put this thing that he said about Bitcoin, because he was unwilling to put even 1% of his net worth in it, it may define his history, of his legacy. And he may have missed the biggest investment of his life. I'm willing to lose my $50 a month or $100 a month that I put in, and I'm okay with that because it's a small percentage of what I put in. I still put in money in a 401k plan. I still reinvest my dividends in old-fashioned stocks and boring dividend-paying companies. So this is just one piece of the puzzle, and if all the pieces come together, it formulates what your investment portfolio will look like. With that being said, hopefully you enjoyed this. Give me a thumbs up, comment below. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know if you are invested in Bitcoin or any other coins. Let me know if this video helped you maybe decide to maybe get into it. You don't need to put a lot in. You can put 5 or 10 or 20 bucks every week or every month. Don't think you have to go all in. With that being said, let's do this together. Let's do this $1 at a time. Have a profitable day. Bye-bye.